Hey folks, welcome back to the Podunk Reef. Wanted to shoot a real quick update here. So today I planned on replacing a portion of the crushed coral sand bed with the reef grade sand from Carib Sea. So in preparation for that, my plan was to get in there with my hands and just scoop the crushed coral to one side and just kind of push it to one side, not remove a whole bunch of it right now, and just kind of push it over and kind of level it out and tuck it in here and there, and then add the special grade sand after having rinsed it and all that. But while I was doing that prep work and moving the crushed coral, I apparently disturbed one of the anoxic zones that was in the sand bed and released this horrible smelling stuff. It smelled like rotten eggs. And that, after I did a little bit of research, like 2 minutes worth after I smelled that, because I knew it was not a good thing, hydrogen sulfide is the compound, which is extremely toxic and can completely kill the fish in a matter of minutes if enough of it is released at one time. Fortunately for me, that wasn't the case. So I kind of had a oh shit moment where I had moved the crushed coral. I had not gone to my local fish store yet to pick up the sand, so I still had to make that run, and I'm a little glad that I did, because what that allowed me to do was pick up some pristine from Seachem, which is it's like Dr. Tim's waste away. Okay, it's a sludge busting bacteria product, and so my plan initially, before I discovered that I had released the sulfide into the tank, was to add the sand and then add some bacteria and then do a water change. So what I ended up actually doing was pretty close to that. So I went to the local fish store. I told them what had happened. Okay, your steps are right. Grab the pristine, because that's going to help break down excess nutrients and that sludge that's in the tank, because you disturb the sand bed, you release that anoxic, the anoxic zones, all that sulfuric chloride or whatever it was. Sorry, I'm totally drawing a blank now. But anyway, and I told the guy, I was like, I am afraid that when I get home, everything's going to be dead. And he was like, it's pretty rare, because you'd have to release quite a bit of it in order to kill your fish, but definitely something to be concerned about. He said, go ahead and do a big water change. And so anyway, came home. I rinsed the sand for about 20 minutes, just making sure it was good and clean and clear. I used like a little plastic cup that had a bunch of holes drilled in the bottom of it that I used for straining fish food and stuff. And so I just used that and added it to this area over here. And I really like the way it looks. It's not blowing around or anything like that. So I went ahead, added that. I did scoop out some of the crushed coral that was all piled up here. I mean, there was a ton of it. So anyway, I went ahead and scooped that all out, dusted off the rocks, and did a good water change. Then shut the skimmer off, added the Microbacter 7, which is a nitrifying bacteria, and then I added the pristine from Seachem, and shut this. The skimmer was off, so we're not sucking those things out. I did turn on the fuge, which normally isn't running during the daytime, but I just wanted something to help soak up excess nutrients because the skimmer was off. And then I turned on the bubbler, excuse me, and kicked up the flow in the tank a little bit, just to make sure that there's enough oxygen pumping around the tank to really help that bacteria get a foothold in the new portion of the sand bed. I did also change out the carbon because that was recommended as well, just to make sure that it's removing that sulfide. So this is where we're at now, and I've got to take it slow. I did about a third of the tank, and then maybe in another week or two, probably closer to 2 or 3, I'll do another third right here. Do the same thing, add the bacteria. I may turn on the protein skimmer tonight, but I'm just going to wait and see. I don't really want to skim out too much. Oh, I did also add a little bit of vodka to the tank, about 5 milliliters, which is appropriate amount of vodka for the maintenance dose. So just to give that new bacteria a carbon source, plenty of oxygen, plenty of water flow to help seed it into that new sand bed. And so I'll do the same thing. It's kind of a pain in the ass. It's totally time consuming to do it this way, but I'd rather go slow, have things remain stable and steady, and not upset the apple cart and throw things out of whack here. So about an hour after I did the water change, I added the bacteria, everything's been running, looking good, fish are looking fine. I did do a water test. Calcium, alkalinity, magnesium are all in line. There was just a touch of ammonia, not even 0.25, but more than 0, but less than a quarter part per million. So I wasn't too concerned with that. No nitrite, no nitrate, which caught me a little off guard, but I do have some supplemental biological filtration in the sump too, so that's handling that deal. So yeah, that's where we're at. That's the update. Dodged a bullet, and I think the next time I go to remove the crushed coral, what I'll do is I'll have a hose, instead of getting in there and pulling it out with my fingers from underneath the rocks and stirring all this crap up. I'll actually just siphon it out with a hose, and that way I'm probably what I should have done in the first place, but I did do that a little while ago, probably, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago. I did do that just to reduce the amount that was in there, and I think that also threw off the bacterial colony when I did that, which is probably what led to my cyanobacteria blooming and the dinoflagellates that I dealt with. So right now, this is where I'm at. So stay tuned for more. I'll keep you posted as things progress. If things totally take a nosedive, I will, of course, share that with you as well. But I think I dodged a bullet. Everything is open. The corals are open. The fish seem happy and healthy. Nobody's gasping, for air at the surface. This clownfish, he just always hangs out at the top. I mean, he's very rarely down to the middle or lower part of the tank. I can feed him by hand. Pretty much just grab him out of the water if I wanted to. He's super chill. But anyway, other than that guy hanging out at the top, which is where he normally does, everybody else looks totally happy and healthy. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.